So, good evening, everyone. Let me flick the camera over. There it is. There you are. So, good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you can all hear me loud and clear. And settings right. I forgot about this. I forgot how it works. It's so different to what I'm used to doing. So, while the streams stabilizing itself, I'll do my plugs part of it. I'm afraid. It helps the channel when people are booking this sort of stuff. And don't forget, there is a PayPal link at the bottom there if anyone wanted to help with a small donation to the PayPal, or you've got the super chat option there. But for full transparency, YouTube take a tiny percentage of that. The PayPal stuff goes all back into the channel, and hopefully you see the difference in the videos. So, Zoom, very quickly. There's 3 themed classes left currently with spaces. That's June the 3rd, June 19th, and June the 30th. They're all on the Facebook page Medium Charlie Kelly, or via the website mediumcharliekelly.co.uk to express interest. June the 10th Zoom class has spaces, and July the 7th, and then we've got June the 28th workshop, 1 space left before it's sold out. The next mentoring programs, one is now completely sold out. I only have a 6 weekend lesson plan now, so that will be the full weekend for 6 weekends. Has availability now. There's 5 spaces left on the July the 11th workshop also. And just to finalize the plugs, there is the meditation that you were all asking for. Is now on the website. It's called The Corridor. That is done. That's available for download via the website mediumcharliekelly.co.uk, with a new one being uploaded next week, hopefully at the absolute latest. And that'll be a guides meditation. So for all that information, to hear it again, you can just watch it on replay, or you can just contact the Facebook page or the website for any further details. My apologies for the plugs, but no, I have to do that. I'm afraid. So I can see myself on camera now. Let's state my bloody hair. So so long. It's been a while since it's been this long, so looking forward to getting that cut. So I'm just going to crack straight on with your questions. I'm here for as long as the questions are here, and we'll take it from there. I think there's a few there to be getting on with, and as you think of them, anything you want to know about your development, about mediumship, whatever, I'll cover it. I'll try not land myself in any trouble. But I will be honest, and it will be from my events, my experience, all that kind of stuff. So let's kick it off. Let's see where we're at. So good evening to everyone. I'm not going to say hello to everyone that comes in, and because that'll just end up being that all evening. So I think that says Megan. I think. My apologies if that's wrong. I know I'm saying it wrong. So you can all see her question there. I have 2 questions. I close my eyes when I do readings. So I first get an image, and then I take that to my solar plexus to feel the emotion, and that's how I seem to work. How do I read with my eyes open? Exactly the same way. It's no different. You're just making it a problem. You think it's harder than it is. It's a very simple process. The way you can practice that is think of an animal that you love, or a family member that you love, and you know the detail of their face. Now, while listening to me and looking at me on the camera, imagine that animal or that person, and you can see it. And now the training kicks in. And with repetition, you'll learn to be able to just open your eyes, go through that process, and see what it is that you need to see. So you're just making it harder than it is. It's much easier just to do it. Just open your eyes and do it, and You'll be surprised how easy it is. Tabitha says, "Hey Charlie, finally caught you live. Thanks for joining me, Tabitha. Great to have you on here." Megan's B question, second question. I am not a bubbly person. Mediumship is a very active process. How do I instantly animate and activate self for a mediumship reading? I'm someone that very much believes that what goes on in your everyday life presents itself within mediumship. So if you are someone that finds it hard to articulate sentences or get conversation going, that will naturally go into mediumship. It's the conscious mind working with the subconscious mind there. So it will naturally go into that process. So the key part to Megan's development now would be find that comfort zone. Why you're not a bubbly person? Why you're not comfortable with it overflowing with bubbliness? Find out why, and then start the process. That's the self development, because you need to be engaging. It's people will be coming to you for a very specific reason, and they need to be comfortable in that process. If you're not bubbly, you're not talkative, and it's not being expressed great, then your client will feel that, and because of that, then the reading may possibly fail, and no return clientele, certainly no further clientele, because they're not singing your praises after that. So it's key that you do become bubbly in your mediumship, but you first have to work on that in your everyday life, so it naturally transitions in mediumship. I can see a lot of people's ways by the way that they demonstrate. I'll be able to tell if they're insecure, if they're not bubbly. It will just lack like a personality within the act of mediumship. So it's key that we get you there, Megan, but for the purpose of mediumship. That's why we're doing it, to reach the minds of people that are looking for it, or want educating on it. You may be the person they go to first. We need to get you in an active state, and that has to happen outside of me. Hopefully that answers your question there, Megan. Kim says, "Hello, Charlie. How are you?" Hi, everyone. So I'm fine. I'm busy. I'm very very busy. I'm very very active on Zoom at the moment because of the current climate that we find ourselves in. I'm teaching more than ever at the moment. Uh, Possibly borderline burnout at some point. So I've knocked one video a week on the head. So if you're regular to the channel, you'll see that only 2 is being uploaded. And this is just energy management, because the teaching is taking a huge part of that. Other than that, my life is unchanged really, other than my long hair, and starting to put weight on for the first time in my life. So I'll maybe have to look at trimming that off at some point. But other than that, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Theo, good evening. Good evening. Hawaiian Life. Hello, everyone. That reminds me, I saw a comment on the one of the videos from a couple of people on the live stream right now. I will get to the comments. It's just that I set mornings aside to do that, so I have seen it. I just haven't responded yet. I will respond when I get that day that comes up that allows me to take a few hours out and answer all the comments. Wayne, good evening. Good evening, Wayne. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, you're a very nice bunch. You're all wishing each other a good evening and everything. That's nice. It makes a change, doesn't it? It's very nice to see that you're all conversing, and it is a community. I think we're building here. There's a lot of people coming for reference points now. That's good, Matthias. So hope you enjoyed last night, Matthias. Jane, hi Charlie. I have circle tonight, so we'll watch later. Enjoy your circle, Jane. Lee Kinsley. Lee Kinsley, Charlie, please do a video from start to finish. I sit in my own space and I feel this or that. Yeah, I can do. It's not so much that it's that I can't do the video. I can absolutely do the video. There's a big self part to sitting in your space. That relationship that we are developing is a very unique relationship. So what goes on in my space, it is pretty. I imagine it would be pretty boring for a video. It would be I set the intention for the spirit world, and then sometimes it happens, and sometimes I'm just just quiet. So the experience will be maybe I'm not aware of it, and other times I am aware of it. Maybe it's um, an episode of passing conditions, or an episode of color, or an episode of emotions. And sometimes it's just I'm not aware, so I just sit for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. So it's not that I can't do a video. I just think your relationship will be unique for you. Your experience is unique for you, and that's what you're building with your team. I'm not sure there's going to be any value in that video. But I'll think it over, and if I find the value in it, then I'll, as you know, I mean, you see the videos that go on the channel. I'll get one knocked up and put out there. Oh, you've elaborated there as well. Lee says, I then feel spirit, whatever that means to you. I then give a reading, and what I feel sense here, I give that, and that's my reading. Yeah, absolutely. What I try to do, I've got, it's not a structure as such, but if I've got a reading, and this is the duration of the reading. Here we go for the cross cameras now. So if I've got a reading, this is the opening, this area here. So I have a lady join me. Lady feels like mum. She passes off. You understand, blah blah blah. Then this next section here is all evidence, which will be their story, and I try to free my mind enough where I say, "What's your story?" And then they give me their story, and then this bit is the message at the end. So I sign off with the message at the end. It's very rare, very very rare. If at any point you see me doing the message here or here, I'm structured in that way. So sometimes I do want to go straight to the message, but my structure and usually the story aspect of it helps bolster what the message is at the end there. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Makes sense to me, Lee. Just keep doing it your way. Keep doing it your way. Did I? What's just happened there? I saw a rainbow? Oh, it's you, me, and Spirit. Thank you, and a unicorn. Unicorns and rainbows. He's done that deliberately. So thank you very much for the super chat, for the unicorn and the rainbows. Is there no question there with that? No, okay, because it would have jumped the queue if that's the case. But I thank you for the unicorn and rainbow. No, she's done that deliberately. So you will pay in the next class. So hi, Loretta. Where's the next question? Honora. Hi, Honora. Hi, Charlie. Great to see you're back. I've never been away, Honora. Just not done the live feeds for a while. And I kind of miss all that kind of stuff. So I had to get one in. I've decided to take a big challenge and go to the Arthur Findlay College in October to do course number 40. I'm expecting good things from this. Thank you to me. I hope you enjoy it, Honora. I don't know who's running the course, what you've signed up to do, but hopefully the grounds are absolutely amazing, and you get everything you want from it. I hope it goes well. Yeah, say hi from me when you're there. Lee, I'd like a start to finish. I sit in my own energy, but then how is that different to spirit energy? Yeah, okay. So I've done one recently, sitting in the power. Did I do that recently? Yep. So it's about to go on the chat. That one's recent. That's what I do from my start to finish in sitting in my own power, and what to expect from that, and how to work it. It just feels less vibrant. So if I'm just sitting for silence for myself, it will be a nothing. And the development of that is to try and not have any thoughts. That's what you're trying to do. And one with the spirit world is more of an active energy, so it's got a sense of vibrancy. Maybe there's an activity going on, so it'll just feel more active. But I have done a video recently on that, which is being linked at the bottom now, I believe. So yeah, how late? Oh, you're not late, Martha. You're not late. I've just started. Um, is it happened? Just started to read. Wow, there's Honora, is it true, Charlie, that we are never really alone? I'd like to think this is true, as I talk to my mum a lot. The spirit world is omnipresent, meaning it surrounds us here and now. But people are frightened by that idea, that they're always being watched. And that's really not the case. And there will be a video coming up very soon on a lot of the aspects of the ethics of mediumship. So it's hard to comprehend, but your people are always there. They're part of the environment that we are in now. That's it. But they're not doing the human thing by watching you and judging you or anything like that. So yes, you are surrounded at all times, but not in a freaky kind of way. Good question, Honora. Good afternoon from, I don't know how to say that, Syracuse. Syracuse, is that New York? So good afternoon. It's evening here now, Stacey. We are at a quarter to 8. Um, um, where are we? Mindful medium Samantha. You look awesome. You are so real. Thank you very much, Samantha. Very kind. Question from Jane Garland, added by Carol on admin. So was that an inbox or like that? Okay. Do loved ones who have passed over have jobs to do on the other side? Again, I'll be covering that in the ethics video that'll be coming up next week. It'll be out the early part of next week. No, they don't have jobs to do. And the problem we have is one that is going to be covered in the video, so I'll keep it short here, is that's giving it a human perspective. So at no point do I reach my mind for the spirit. So you join me, and your father joins me in the spirit world, and I do the communication. At no point do I reach for that and go, "Oh no, Dad can't make it. He's at work today. He's busy. He's gardening. He's doing something." And even if he was, there is no evidence to support that whatsoever. So it will be a stern video next week, potentially controversial, but I don't care. It's one of those things that you may be the start point for someone looking into spirituality, and with the notions or the ideas that I read. Some of this needs clarifying because it looks crazy, and it would absolutely keep people away from it. And our job as a medium is to make it relatable to every person, every single person that walks the planet. Make it relatable so they understand, and it doesn't look like we're weird or anything like that. It's a very natural process. and providing we are supporting our statements as evidential statements, then there'll be no reason for ridicule. If we have the idea that they're off working, or that, you know, they're on vacation, they can't make it, sorry, that's not going to bode well for proving beyond a reasonable doubt that there is something beyond life. So it'll be covered in a video early part of the week. Keep growing your hair. I had it long before. Whoever said that, Shika. I had it long before, and this takes a lot of control. Just like this takes a huge amount of control. My hair is full of volume. I know none of you will know who he is, but if you quickly look after this, I watched someone called Jared Holan Fronose, and he's a white dude with like the biggest fro, and it's my hair's like that. I've really got to tame it down. So I did like it long, but it's a lot of maintenance. Yeah, I can't see it. The Moon Mermaid, hi, welcome back. Are there some questions Spirit will never answer for the sitter? A daughter asked her mum in spirit the reason why she abandoned them. Response was image of padlock door closing, closed lips. Yeah, it's, you know, it's again, we've got to look at the ethics of that. You know, it's the spirit are there. They're not there to tell us everything that's going on or is going to happen, you know. And some of the life experiences that you and I, and you know, I've had some horrendous experiences, horrendous. But now in hindsight, I you know, a decade later, 20 years later, I look back and I realize what that taught me. I realized that it molded the man I am today. Um, and so that sometimes these things have to happen, and the spirit world answering that wouldn't seem right. So I'm not sure the spirit world would answer questions like that at all. Now there will be some people that say sorry and all that kind of stuff. Again, it's just not for me. So where if a client was to ask me to ask her mum that question, I just wouldn't take it on. I would just say no. I'm there to prove life, not to go into that kind of stuff. It's not my role, and that's something that's going to need counselling. I'm not a counsellor. I'm not a trained counsellor, so I'll do my job, and the counsellor's job. Yeah, I know that sounds harsh, but I just wouldn't answer that question. Oh yeah. Where are we there? Admin. Tabitha, Journey of Souls Case Studies of Life Between Lives by Michael Newton, PhD. A great book for questions about the afterlife. Yeah, I know of the book. I think I've got the book upstairs. I think I've got it. Again, Tabitha, it's one of those things because I know some like extracts from the book, and I can't prove it. That's the problem. I can't prove it. So because I can't prove it, I can't just make it up. I can't make anything like that up. So the way my work is, I regard myself as an evidential medium, and I will bolster that with evidence. There will be there are two sides to the argument. You know, some great healing can be taken place from hearing about city halls, you know, in the halls of learning, and a great relief that they're no longer in pain, and you know there are some great benefits, some great things that lift that grief process here to the people that are left behind. I get that, but there are some idiots out there, and I apologize it's so blunt, but there are idiots out there that will say, I'm afraid I can't connect to your mum today because, you know, she wasn't a nice lady. So she's in the equivalent of a prison. You know, so she's got to serve her time before she comes and sees you, and that is just ridiculous. It's one of those things that is so damaging that I think we need to find the line on what is acceptable and not acceptable. And so I think evidence is a good line. If I can evidentially prove this, then that's good substance to move forward. So I see the argument, I do, but I also see the damage that it does with things like that. So next, Charlotte. I watched your video on the true spirit, who isn't all rainbows and lollipops. Do you represent true spirit on stage? If they were a jerk on this plane, they should be represented as such on stage. Absolutely. That's their evidence. So it's a great question on the back of what I've just said there. I can't make a monster an angel. If we have a complete jerk that was very violent to his partner and his children, then they are never going to accept me on stage saying, I have a loving father here and a loving husband, and he was marvelous. That's not going to work. They're not gonna claim their husband or their father. I need to say, I have a man here, and you know he was a very aggressive man for a large portion of his life, and then flow it with the evidence that follows for then daughter or partner to raise their hand. So yeah, there is no like on my shoulders. I'm just a voice. I'm working for the spirit world. I'm just a voice. And then the violent man turns up. I know he's no longer violent. I know that, but that's his evidence. That's what I have to present. So there's no story that I can't do. How I say it, I have a say in. But if their story's their evidence and it's their story, then I'm going with it. It, it hasn't let me down yet, and it never will let me down. So it's yes, I say it as it is, politely as possible. But yes, Loretta, how do I keep from being afraid of feeling a spirit energy? And is there a way to not knock myself out of my vision if I get startled? Yeah, it's just growing comfortable with it, Loretta. The downside to the generations that we have now working mediumship is we have we have Hollywood on tap, don't we? Netflix and other services, all that kind of stuff. So the idea of spirit is portrayed as a negative, portrayed as a dark art or something like that, when actually it's pure love, it's pure essence. That spirit. So the fear is you. I know it's not the spirit world. So the moment you start to know that, you approach it differently, and as you approach it differently, you feel it for what it is, that essence love, and then you realize, oh my god, why was I doing that? This is amazing, and now you throw everything into it. So most of us have started like that, Loretta. So don't be alarmed. Just change the thought pattern, because it is essence love. Remember, it's just their story, their evidence. So there will be things that you may see that are uncomfortable, but they're not yours. That's theirs, and they're trying to give you that because that's their evidence. um, I'll read that one out, Carol. So for all the special offers and the competitions that I run, I've done a lot of competitions of late. I'm trying to I give back where I can. So there'll be free spaces. You know, I help where I can basically on the Zoom and the teaching. To be entered for any of those competitions, it's an instant entry. That happens after you've attended a Zoom class. You get put into a private Zoom group, which has well over 100 members in there now, which I allow you to work with one another within that group. because I've worked with you. I know what you're about, how you're responding to that. So yeah, so if you are interested in any of the Zoom events, just hop on the Facebook page or the website. And I've reached the unicorn now, and I've reached the rainbow now. Good evening, Wayne. Do you think those who used to teach you do it my way or the highway are now starting to change how they teach? I went over 15 years ago to the college. Very, a very funny setup. To me, it was. um, I don't think they realise. Um, I don't think they realise. I think there's still a lot of that going on, Wayne. Um, some people, the college is everything, and others, the face don't fit. So it depends what side of the fence you sit on. I understand why you've said that. I totally get why you've said that. I think it's pedestaled a little bit. Um, you know, through who they are because they're at the college and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I completely understand. There will always be those teachers, my way or the highway, and you're doing it wrong and you're doing it. So what I do, and hopefully I've got some students on the chat that sort of go with that. I am a hard teacher. I am someone that will get you to dial it in, and you will get the evidence, and you will succeed. Um, but it's not about doing it like this. It's not about you will do it this way. It's about finding your way and building that confidence and sort of throwing you in the right direction. Look over there. Try for this. Try and do that. And I am a big believer that my way is my way, and it's unique to me. My relation is unique with the spirit world. Yours is just as unique with your spirit team or spirit world. So it's about getting the most out of that relationship. So although I'm hard, I know how hard to push. I believe I know how hard to push. Um, and yeah, I'm going to have got that wrong over the years, but that's my learning through my teaching, on getting the best results. So there are some people, even in this room. My apologies, they should be off. There'll be some people in this room that, given the option, they'll bail out. They'll bail, but I know where they're gonna bail, so I can set an ambush ready. Like you are not bailing here. Like you keep bailing here. You're not bailing here. Let's get the job done. So it shows them that they can work through it. So yeah. Hopefully that answers you in some way there, Wayne. If I say any more, I'm just going to land myself in more trouble. Um, yeah, more trouble. So I've kept it diplomatic there. I completely understand why you have said it. Megan, do you have a video on the process of mediumship, starting with sitting, feeling energy, build, blending, and so on? Something that is a step by step for beginners. I think a lot of the videos, Megan, are explaining the mechanics behind the reading. And these videos are broke down into like bite-sized pieces for you to lose this ritual. So starting, sitting, preparing, getting the mind ready, blending. I think is a process that you have implemented. I can move my mind right now to the spirit world and start communication. Equally, so can Megan. So this process is for you. So if you wanna dial your process in, that would be for you to dial it in. If you want to feel the blend more, just ask. I need to feel that stronger. You'll go into a heightened state of sensitivity, and you will feel the blend stronger. However, that takes energy to do that. So I let go of that feeling the blend process for a bigger, better statement because that fuel can be used in that area there. So all the videos are along that line. I mean, I don't know how many's on there now, Megan, but it's well over 300. I think it's well over 300, and they're all individual bits of a reading. So the process has been absolutely dialed in. I can maybe do a step by step, but again, I'm not sure it'll be of value. Huh? Yeah. Um, yeah. So I think there's an old video. Carol's finding it now. That she'll put it at there. Martha. Oh man, that jumped a lot. Where was I? Regarding classes, do you need any experience? None whatsoever. None whatsoever. They are such a good group. I'm very fortunate with the people that I have on the Zoom. That I work with. Very fortunate. They're very willing to try new ideas, new angles, and they let me uh, like really push their faith and their ability. They're very warm and they all engage very well. I think I've only ever had one. Is it one we're at? One where we've had to get two. We've had to ban two. Which ain't bad numbers for the numbers that I'm dealing with at the moment. So two people that I've had to sort of step aside. So you are in safe hands of the groups that I work within, because they are all very good people. So no experience necessary. She can't. Nearly every time I do a practice reading, I get the word Jersey or New Jersey. I have no idea why. Why do you think it is? Because you're expecting it now. So as I move my mind to the spirit world, you're going to go, oh no, I hope Jersey don't come. Ah, there it is. There's Jersey. So you're adding the ingredient. There is a video called the mixing bowl, I think, something like that. The ingredients or the mixing bowl. That'll explain that perfectly for you, Sheikah. I think it's called ingredients or the mixing bowl or something like that. But it's the intention, so you're expecting it, so it will absolutely be there. Jackie says, "What exactly is sitting in the power compared to meditation?" This is a very, very common question. So, meditation, you are sitting in an altered state at around 15 to 20 hertz. So, you're giving the brain an activity, you're giving it something to do. So, I'm not just saying, Jackie, sit there and think of nothing because the act is almost impossible. The brain is designed to fire, and as it fires, you grab your attention with needless things. You know, did I turn the iron off? Did I lock the back door? Did I shut the windows? You know, that sort of stuff. The moment you try and have 5 minutes yourself. What meditation does is give you a focus. So ideas like, did I lock the back door? Did I shut the window? Don't crop up. So it holds an area within the mind. Sitting in the power is a slightly deeper altered state. And that's the only difference. A slightly deeper altered state, one of which you are sitting in your own power, your own energy, the hypersensitivity, or in the company of the spirit world. Again, there is a video just above your question, actually, Jackie, that Carol's put there, sitting in the power. That video will explain it a little bit better for you, or more in depth. Holt. I am godfather for Lillian, Switzerland. Or from I am godfather for Lillian's godfather. Cool. Hiya, Holt. So, welcome to the channel. Say hello to Lillian for me. Uh, did Megan, is there reincarnation? Then how are you spirit? That is, how does this all relate? Reincarnation. I don't have my prop. So I'll have to draw it. Who asked that, Megan? I like your curiosity. However, simply fixed. Drawing it out, so my apologies. So you know the Rubik's cube. I've done a video on that recently as well. So I need to switch the camera so I can see what I'm doing. So what we've got is this is your overall spirit. So the whole thing is your spirit. So the medium on Earth, sounds a little bit weird, but reaches in and gets your information from your overall spirit. This facet right here is the carnation of Megan. But Megan may have already been a John and a Mary and a Beverly. So the medium just goes, because the sitter's in front of you, the daughter, the son, or whatever, any of your children, if you have children, they come to a medium and they say, "Can you get my mum?" And then the medium goes and gets mum. So the spirit, your higher self, whatever term you want there, that facet is the evidence that that will be given to the medium to give to Tissa. So that'll explain your reincarnation. Karma would be within the entirety of the spirit. Again, karma's being thrown around like everyone knows what it is. It's no different to another religion. It's another way of promoting a fear. So yeah, so I'm sure there is some form of karma, as you've worded there. And I'm certain on the reincarnation, and I'm certain it's a facet of the individual. Comprehending it all is a whole new, a whole different thing. Hopefully that answers you. Honora, Charlie, have you ever tried to connect to someone who was killed? Would you try it if you could? I mean, to help police solve crimes, etc. Just wondering. Yep, I've done that. I mean, my students have done that. My students have done it for me. I've got friends and family that have been killed at the hands of another person. And my students have connected very well with those people in bringing their evidence forward. So, yeah, I have done a police case. But in the UK, we can't use it in court. So we can't help solve the murder or anything like that. So we're not allowed to under UK law, or the UK law is not allowed to ask a medium. And in a lot of aspects of that, I completely agree with it. You've only got to look online at what some idiots call mediumship and call themselves mediums. You've only got to look at what they say, their ethics, and you realise that if the police and the courts were listening to those people, there would be a lot of people in prison that shouldn't be in prison. So I kind of agree with the process that they shouldn't use mediums for it. A personal opinion. Yeah. Mindful medium. Samantha? What are some of your favourite books you recommend for developing mediums? Did I do a video? So I don't like recommending books at all now. Mindful medium, Samantha. So I like the literature of Maurice Barbanel. I like the literature. I like the way he writes. I like the way he has an account of what was going on at that time period of spirituality or spiritualism. I like the way he writes. Do I agree with it all? No. I don't agree with it all, especially in 2020. Philosophy has changed, depth of evidence has changed, mediumship has changed. So I enjoyed the books, I enjoyed the read. My worry is that people are still trying to teach some of the things that they talk about from the early 1900s, which just don't sit today. Doesn't work for me today. So I actually don't reckon, like, I can't think of one good recent book. A lot of recent books are about their ego. Look at me, look what I've done, look how good I am, look what I can do. Banner and balloons and all that kind of stuff. So and they're usually self-published in that way. So I'm not an advocate of recommending books out there. If there was one author that I say read it, enjoy it, but don't take everything, take it, elements of it, it would be Maurice Barbanel. Mateus, I know I'm saying that wrong because he always tells me I'm saying it wrong. So Matt, thanks for the Zoom class yesterday. One question: how can you deepen your evidence when you've got a quiet communicator from the spirit world? Again, that's a really simple process, actually. Matt, you should have asked me that yesterday. A really quiet person, an introvert from the spirit world, is just an evidential statement. It's just an evidence. That's all it is. They have to give you that impression they are quiet. So you say to their loved one, I have an introverted lady here, or an introverted man, a deep thinking man, a quiet man. The moment the statement is given, it should leave. The only way it stays there is if you think, oh no, this is going to be a hard read because they're quiet. They're not quiet. Their evidence was that they were quiet. Now it can go away. Now the communication can commence. So it's the power you give it because of your personal experience that you've had with quiet individuals or introverted people that you have come across in your human experience, and you've taken that into the mediumship and believe that you're going to have a problem. There is no problem if you just know that it's a statement. And that it's as simple as that. I know that sounds too easy, but that really is it. Denise, hello Charlie, it's my birthday today. What a great present to catch you live. Love the Q&As. Happy birthday to you, Denise. I'm glad that you're on the Q&A also. I hope you've had a fabulous day. I don't know what part of the world you're from, so I don't know if we're nearing the end of your birthday or you just started your birthday. I don't know. But happy birthday anyway. And I imagine now that you're going to get a ton of comments saying happy birthday. Cool. Mindful medium Samantha, keeping mediumship rooted and relatable. It's our mission, Samantha. That's our job. If we're not relatable with the general public, it will never move forward. Never ever. Tabitha, the book just explains how the earth is a giant classroom and we all must go through our own trials and tribulations to get that higher consciousness. Yeah, I like that. I like the way you've worded that. It also goes into spirit guides and how they are mostly soul tribes that we reincarnate with over and over for the experience. I understand what you're saying. That may go over some people's heads, but yeah, I like it. I may dig it out. I may dig it out. Megan, so what do spirits do? Just hang out with a beer by the pool and chat with all past friends? Do they have jobs and what do they do? So you obviously typed that after I said the video was going to be released early next week. Whatever it is that they do, we can't prove it. So we don't talk about it. It's not your own ideas will be your own ideas. Don't impress those ideas on other people. If you need the idea that they are still in a body with fingers and a face and hair and having a beer, then that's your idea of a spirit world. Then that is what you see. That's what, because you're looking for that, you'll see that. I know it's of consciousness. There is no body. The body is here on Earth, whether it be cremated or buried. The body is here, so it's the consciousness of the person. So to explain that to the general public, for example, that it's a consciousness, they can't grasp or comprehend the idea of what that means. So I don't think they're doing jobs, and I don't think they're drinking beer or hanging by the pool or chatting with past friends. I think it's very different to our own experience. I think it's more than a body or a human interpretation. It goes much deeper than that, I think. Um, but everyone will have their own idea. And I don't want to ruin the magic for everyone. But in my head, there are no bodies; they're conscious. That I am working. Yeah. There you go. There's the happy birthdays. I told you, Charlie. I think you're fab. Thank you. I'm new to mediumship. What's your advice for finding the right circle to start sitting in and with? I did that. Did a video recently. Something I'm not sure I called it that. Yeah, I called it that. What makes a good circle? It's at the bottom of the chat now for you there, B Ria. And whatever you're comfortable with. All I ever say to people is, if at any time it insults your reason, just leave. Cool, just leave. They may be offended, but if it insults your reason, then don't do it. And what I mean by that is, I joined a circle where the first 40 minutes was sitting in a bright white light, putting roots from my feet into the ground, and asking Mother Earth to do something, and then be rained on by a light, and then a year later, we'll take you to the spirit world. And I was like, really, really? Well, this just ain't working for me. So then I went to a different circle, to one that was like, right, up you get, Charlie. What's the experience? And I was like, oh, I'm aware of a lady, and a name and an occupation, and here we go. And that works for me. So whatever's comfortable for you, it is the very simple answer there. But there is a video linked at the bottom for you to watch. Oh, that jumped a lot. Somewhere. Jane, when you move your mind to the spirit world, I always get an image of family members. It's just me thinking of them, or are they there to let me know that they are there? It could be. Could be that they're there to let you know they're there. And it may be that, Jane, you're more comfortable having the communication knowing that a family member is there. So, of course, they will do that. If it gets you expressing, and you have to see, like a mother, father, a grandmother, a grandfather, whatever, to get you speaking, then they'll absolutely do that. So yeah, it's a nice thought. I like the idea, but of course they're there. I mean, you don't need convincing of that. You know they are there. So I would imagine it's for you to express. You are more at ease. The mind is more at ease when you see someone you know and love. Then you'll do your bit. Then that's absolutely fine. Keep doing that. That makes perfect sense to me. Lee, I've been at a college in London for years now and have been given great readings in class, but can honestly say I don't feel the spirit world or that I am connected to anything. Am I doing something wrong? No. No, some people are more sentient. You know, they are very. They look for the feeling intensively. I always gauge it on the evidence, Lee. So if your information is correct and it's always being taken and you're getting yes after yes after yes, then I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's not wrong. It's your way. It's your way of doing it. So I reckon if your accuracy is up there, if you've got a good rate, then just keep doing what you're doing. Like, don't worry about what other people are doing. I've sat in classrooms where people have told me about the most magical experiences that I've ever heard. I mean, they are beyond belief. They are almost beyond language. And they have really put some thought and effort into the language that they use to express this to the rest of the room. You know, and I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing. Wow, your connection is so good. And then gave me a crap reading. So, and you're like, and they're all the same. They're all kind of weak and not dialed in and no real evidence there. And then you get someone, you know, that's just like normal. Just like, yeah, if I feel it, I feel it. If I don't, I don't. If I say it, I'm gonna say it, and just go down that route. And I've had some outstanding reading, outstanding. I literally, when was class last night? Last night, I received one of the best readings I've ever been given by a student last night. She spent 5 minutes telling me how wrong she is. She spent 5 minutes telling me how nervous and how oh, I don't feel like I'm developing at the rate or getting it right, and I doubt myself and I do this. And in the end I was like, will you just shut up and get on with it? And then it was outstanding. I haven't had evidence for ages like I received last night. It was so good. So I would just do it your way, Lee. Providing you're getting it. If the accuracies are a mile off, you're only getting 10% right, then we need to look at it. But if your accuracy's up there and you're getting it 70%, 80%, 90% right, then I would just keep doing it your way, mate. L3 Paranormal. Hey, Charlie, just peeking in on my break. Back to work now. Sending you love from Texas. Sending my love back to Texas. Kim, I love your drawings. Oh God, these drawings are getting more and more famous, and I don't want them to get famous. They're terrible. I might take secret art class. That's what I should have done in lockdown. I should have just like signed up onto like Skillshare and learned how to draw. That's what I should have done. Lee, sorry for messaging so much tonight. No, don't. That's the whole point of it, Lee. That's why I'm here. But I genuinely don't know the difference between me sitting on my own and what I feel and spirit being with me, even in reading that I give. Then you make it very simple. You just say, right, spirit world, do not join me, and sit for 15 minutes. Get a stopwatch. Siri, set a time of 15 minutes. Hopefully he ain't done that. I don't know where my phone is, actually. Set a time for 15 minutes and sit. Spirit world, do not join me. And they won't join you. Then the next 15 minutes, spirit world, join me for the next 15 minutes. Instantly, they will be there. Make note of all the changes. Make note of all the feelings, all the markers that you're hunting for. Do that for like 3 weeks, and they are miles apart. You'll be like, oh my God, why did I make this so hard? It's so easy. That's how to do it. Plain and simple. 15 minutes, do not join me. 15 minutes. And 15 minutes, now join me. And I promise you, Lee, you will absolutely notice the difference. If not the first time, definitely the second and third. Definitely. Because they are worlds apart once you find the mark. Kevin, I've really enjoyed your videos, Charlie. Thank you for presenting information in such a no-nonsense, down-to-earth manner. Thanks for the aha moments. Still great to get after 10 years of service. That's so kind, Kevin. I have seen some of your comments on my videos, and I will be. I'm due to have a morning on there. I know you're not someone that likes to write publicly on the chats and on the videos, so I do appreciate it. Like, really, I appreciate it. That's very nice. That's the motivation that keeps you kind of going. You guys, and the way that you're kind is the drive, the fuel to keep putting videos out there. Laura, how often do you do classes? It varies from week to week, Laura. It could be 4 in 1 week, couldn't it? Plus a weekend. So I'd get like a day off. And other weeks I just need me energy, so I won't. If I've got a spare day, I'll just have it as a spare day, which is never a spare day because then I'm sitting down organising with Carol what's about to come up, or creating a new video or something along those lines. So it varies, Laura, is the answer there. But all the dates are on the website, or the Medium Charlie Kelly Facebook page. All events right there, you'll find them all. So if there's any that you fancy, take your pick. Kim says, my first paid mediumship was for a friend of a murdered man. Talk about jumping in big. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's the only way. Carol's receiving love there from Stacey for all the links. That's all I can hear in my left ear is that tap, tap, tap. I don't know how to say that. It, pro, I have no idea. Can't read that. I don't know how to say it. Can't get my tongue around that. Also, have you ever come across the twin flame incarnations of the same soul? What is your take on it? Not really for me. Yeah, Providencia. There you go. Carol got her tongue around it for me. So, thank you for the link, the video on recommended reading. Yeah, the twin flame thing. It's not really for me. Not really. I don't know. The way I drew it, it is possible. It is possible. It's possible. I'm not so keen on the idea. There's something about me that just feels that there's something not quite right with that. So, I don't know what that is. It's just not really for me, Ria. Mindful Medium Samantha, thanks. Mindful Medium Samantha. I thought, for some reason, I thought that was another word. How can we sign up for Zoom classes? So I go to the website, but there is no link to sign up. Wait, how do you do it on the website? Or an email or something? Just go to the contact us bit, and it's done by email, and then you get all the information sent to your email. Mindful me. Megan, I know everyone is different, but on an average, how long did it take you to get to where you are in spirituality now? And if you can recommend what is the most important part of mediumship. So I'm into my 11th year. I went professional at the year on a year. So on average, I don't know what the average is. I would say maybe 5 or 6 years. Because a lot of people spend. My back's killing me. Sorry. A lot of people spend 2 years wasting time sitting there, opening white lights and walking angels in, and all that kind of stuff. When I thought, right, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to have a look at this, and I'm going to think logically. I'm gonna understand it, and when I understand it, if I understand it, I'm gonna tell the world about it. That's what I did. I approached it logically. So roots in the ground for me, that's not logical. It's of the mind. Mediumship is of the mind. So I need to understand the mind. If I understand how the mind works, then I understand more how mediumship works, Now I can get the mechanics down. Now I can get out and tell the world about it. A lot of people are still sitting in group. I developed with people that are still sitting in circle now, and no further forward because they are still opening white lights, roots in the ground, and all that kind of stuff. So I think the most important part of mediumship is understanding you. I think what makes you tick, what makes you angry, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what gives you joy, how you react, what are your reactions to someone being negative, to someone being positive, someone being funny, someone being nasty. How do you react to that? And the moment you can learn to express yourself in a way where if someone's to upset me, I can just stop and go, hold on a minute. For some reason, I'm offended there. And I'm offended because, and I can articulate that without getting in a fight, but I can articulate my experience with that person, and they understand what it is that I'm trying to say, then I understand me at that point. So when the spirit person joins me, I can articulate their sensory experience, what they're giving me, in the most accurate way possible to date. So I hope that that gets better. But the turning point is you understanding you. Understand where you choose to bail out, procrastinate, areas where you are willing to push the boundary to the absolute limit. So I am someone that believes wholeheartedly it can be turned on and off at will. I turn it on and off at will. Um, the problem with that is that I know that I run out of time. You know that I don't have enough years left to learn everything. So I'm just pushing and pushing and pushing my boundaries all the time, learning more about me, understanding people, understanding relationships and everything. All of that I need to absorb. That's the turning point. You are the turning point. At what point would you give up? At what point does the legs come from under you? And I refuse to let that happen to me. I refuse. So there's something in me that fights for that, and so I take that fight into my mediumship and go about it in that way. So I don't think I'll ever get a day off ever, and I want a day off. I've got too much to do, too little time. Um, so I think the journey can take as long as you're comfortable. If you do, if you're scared to go into public, you're scared. Why are you scared? Address the scared, and now you can go into the public. That changes everything. So I think you are the turning point in both areas there. You are the problem. You are the creator. And in that moment, that will just power your whole new area. I won't accept that I can't do anything in mediumship. If the senses can hold it, I can do it, and I will go and achieve it. I will keep going until I achieve. So down to the individual, isn't it? It's personality, I think. A blessing and a curse. Um, Kim, the family had a playroom that was even. Oh, I don't know where that's from. Cool. Anyway, uh, uh, yeah. Tabitha says you should dig it out. I'm already loving it. That was the book that you suggested at the beginning of. Um, Jane says, I feel I am not good enough for Zoom class as I don't get time to sit and meditate. And I pick up psychic and spiritual. I do try and ask my family have passed. If you think you're not good enough, you'll never be good enough, Jane. Never ever. That's that video will explain that linked in for you. I don't sit or meditate anywhere near what I used to, because I'm connected. I'm working for the spirit world, so um, it's too much emphasis is put there. The point of the sitting and meditating is for the you, it's you, not for the spirit world. The spirit world can do it. So if you're going with the psychic information more than the spirit information, that's something that you are doing because you are the instrument. It's a simple rewiring. Will fix that. Antonio, hi, greetings from Spain. Please welcome Spain. You are very, very real. I don't know where that is in Spain. I was meant to be in Spain soon, but with the current climate, had to cancel that one. But I'll be there again soon, Antonio. So have a look on the events part of the Medium Charlie Kelly Facebook page, and it'll tell you when I'm in Spain at some point. Tabitha says, it has opened my eyes to my own soul journey. I was a man in my last life, and I am getting it understanding of myself. Okay, cool. I'm not someone that likes again, without offending Tabitha. When I drew I have to do that a bit better. Try to rush it, but someone will say, "Love to draw." Let me. And so when we've got the facet of the individual, if that's you, Tabitha, that one's you, and this one here was the carnation of a man. I don't understand the value of that problems and journey that you had with this man coming into this facet. There's no point having facets if they are all going to be one facet, one thing. So the idea, the philosophy behind the cube, I would draw a diamond if I could draw a diamond, but I use this cube, is that experience has been done, dusted. It holds no power or relevance in this one. That's why I tend not to. You won't hear me talking about past lives, etc. Hope that makes sense without offending. Oh God, that jumped a lot. Ooh. Aaron. Oh wow, you lot have been. That's just made my belly flip. Right, okay. Let's get through some of it. So check the camera. My back breaks here. I need to go and sit where I sit at Zoom. I think that would make that much. Not happy with the settings on this streaming either. Have to look at that another day. So Honora. Charlie, have you ever moved a table? If so, what does it entail? Concentration or allowing spirit to do it for you? Just curious. Yep, moved loads and loads of tables, and it's the spirit world doing it. So if this was I need to have a camera. So if this was the tabletop, it would be I'd just have my finger on it like that. I used to do it quite a lot with my young daughter. I done it when she was like 7 or 8. Me and her would sort of just touch the table, like one finger. I'd go one end, she'd go the other, and then the table would just lift. And I was trying to get her mind just to be free with it, so she wasn't scared of it. That daughter now is 11, so not so little now, cheeky as well. So yeah, I used to do it all the time, Honora. It's the spirit world when I do it. I can't speak for everyone. Obviously, there's a lot of fraudulence around it. So if I just put a fingertip on it, the spirit world will move it. Things like if the spirit world knocked the table over and it falls on the floor, then they have to pick it up. I'm not picking it up. They can, if they can knock it over, they can pick it up, and they will absolutely pick it up. So it eliminates that fraudulent that surrounds that kind of thing. So yeah, I just privately, I don't show that. I don't show people that. That's just for me in my private time. Kim. Oh no, that's that. Lee, consciousness for me, Charlie, is the sun shines on me in London and the sun shines in Newcastle or Scotland, but we all feel the same warmth. Absolutely. It's seen all around the globe, isn't it? So, absolutely. Good analogy. Can you try opening that? This has gone fuzzy. Don't like the quality. I'm going to be looking at the settings. I had to update it before I come in, but I'm not liking that. That's too much. Thanks. Try again in 20 minutes. Yeah, that's all right. That jump again? No. Honora, I'm going to sign up for a Zoom class. Just see the Facebook page or the website. More than likely be Carol that's dealing with that for you. Absolutely. So one saying, I'm nervous. And Stacey says, what's there to be nervous about? We're learning. And in Zoom, I again, hopefully there are students that can verify it, but I encourage the mistakes. Learn nothing from being good. Ever. Learn nothing. I can't think of one inspiring story where they were amazing, and because they were amazing, they learned so much. It's always about the downfalls that they learn from to then become said amazing. There is a truly remarkable documentary on Michael Jordan called The Last Dance on Netflix. It's a 10-hour documentary, so I'll give you the heads up because I didn't realize it was that long. But it was, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Well worth a watch. Can you see my questions? Sorry if I missed. Now. Oh, there. You see mediums that have never knew about sitting in the power and go on to be fabulous or on TV. It didn't seem to be needed. So why in the UK is SITP so emphasized as the key to spirit communication? Because of the people that are teaching it. So we have two. That's a lie. Maybe 3 major schooling areas within the UK. One I worked at Urshamstar. One you've got the Arthur Findlay College, and then there's other independent ones around the country. But the teachers are teaching sitting in the power. The teachers are teaching meditation. The teachers are teaching. That's not the spirit world. That's the teachers are teaching. So I am a very proactive. I'm very, very active within my classroom. I don't want that. I think get a few questions out, your mind's in gear, let's get going. So it's just to get you in the right place. So the teachers are teaching that. And if everyone goes to these places, then everyone's taught the same thing, then it's so so obvious, it's so there. So yeah, nightmare. But that's the reason why the teachers are to blame. Now I need to go back there. Where was I? Question. So there is. That's just come up. Do you think there is a large amount of mediums starting out that quit? If you do, why do you think that is? What do you think is your experience keeps me long haul? I think there's loads and loads of mediums that that have started and they've gone on to do well and then just disappeared. Um, a large chunk of that pie would be burnout. They suffer with burnout. Another large chunk of that pie is um, uh, their their arrogance, their demeanor. Do that. A large chunk of that may be too under pressure, so that leads on to the burnout. They're feeling the pressure of what goes on with it. Others have tried to do things way above their ability, and they've been okay for a little while, but now they've been found out, and the pressure of that sends them away. So I think very few stay for the long haul. Very few. It can be very testing on the individual, and I'm not for a moment suggesting that the spirit world are testing anybody. I think they're there to support and encourage you, not test you. But some of the things we have to go through, the experiences we go through, I think um, is one of those things that not many people stay in the long haul for. Um, I know some fabulous people that have stepped away from the community because of backstabbing and talk, because of jealousy and envy. It's a multitude of reasons, but not many stick it out. Because it can be tough. It can be tough, but I mean, any job. If you stuck at any job for 40 years, it's tough, isn't it? You get your good times and you get your bad times. This is gonna be no different. I just think you should always, if your heart's in the right place, your ethics are good, your integrity is good, you're set up for the long haul. Anything less than that, I think you will come unstuck. In my opinion. My opinion. Um, where was I? Yeah, found it. Oh now. Last one. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Finding them now. Miss Brit. Any advice on how to quiet the ego during a reading? I've been finding myself getting nervous before practicing reading. I will somehow do a disservice to Spirit Sitter, and I want to release that. Get it wrong. Get it wrong. Go mess one up, and you'll realise that you tried. You tried your best. What's the video? Ego or spirits going in the bottom now. That will give you another perspective or another angle. But the easiest process there is get one wrong, get your nose, fail it, mess it up, do it in a practice circle, and you'll realise that it's not as bad as you're dreading. And then after that, once you've done that a few times, you're kind of like, oh, here we are again, this, and then you work beyond it. Um, while you're trying to avoid it, you're going to just be heading towards it. It's going to be an absolute nightmare for you. So I would get one wrong. Express your nervousness, express your fears, let them manifest, then analyze it and go, do you know what? It wasn't so bad after all. And that'll free you, that'll free your mind. Go be brilliant. Here's the next question. Martha, Zoom groups are after you take Charlie's class. Is that what? Oh, you've answered that. Your drawings show that you don't have a big ego. Oh God, I'm embarrassed by that. I think I shared it on one of the live feeds before, but it's I need to ring my dad actually. But my dad we talk infrequently. We should speak more. And he's got such a great humour. I love his humour. And he phoned me, and it was about 8 weeks before we had spoke to one another. And the first thing I answered the phone like, "You're right," and he went, "You need to stop them drawings. Stop it. They're terrible." I was like, "Oh, you're all right, Dan. How are you?" uh, Hilarious. So yeah, I just think it's sometimes it's easier if I show you. I was saying to Carol the other day, like when I get a minute, very very late at night usually, or very very early in the morning, that's my free time. So if I'm going to do anything, I have to do it there. And I like to relax on Call of Duty, Warzone, and it's just this big multiplayer shoot 'em up, and I can read about it and it can tell me how to do it, and I've got no idea. I watch a guy play it and I'm like, right, I get it. I understand what they're trying to do now, and I'll go on and I'll do it. And very quickly I started winning these massive games. So I'm someone that learns because look, this is how to do it. There you go. Oh, okay, and away I go. Give me an instruction manual, and I just can't absorb it. I just don't know what's wrong with me. So that's why I bring this, just in case there's another person like me out there that don't get it from my words, but I can give them like a little stickman drawing or little Rubik's cube drawings. They may take something from it, and that's the story I'm sticking to. I don't care what you say. That's what I'm sticking. Um. Uh. Jane, I had a dream that I was sat with my grandmother and grandfather, and they were showing me, like they were showing my photos, but I can't remember what the photos were of. And I kissed them and said, "I will be back again." See, that continued. Did this encounter? Absolutely, absolutely. That sounds so specific. Absolutely happened, Jane. Um, Lee is asking for the link to donate. Have you had that? Thank you very much, Lee. Um, Jane again says, "Do spirit help if you ask them for help with money problems?" Um, so in my instant reaction, I would say no. I would say no. However, so how to word this? So I remember I shared the story a few weeks ago on a Zoom class, and I was in real financial difficulty. I was in a real hole. I had 3 children. And I was working solid, really hard, really, really hard. And then my car broke. My car was my source to get to my job, and that was the source of income. And without the car, I can't get to the job, and I was in a world of trouble. So I put the car in, and it had something wrong with it, and it was going to cost me £294.78. And the following morning, it was in October, I believe, or November, October, November, and I received a tax rebate from the tax office in October or November, which don't get them then. It's like months and months away. It was either really early or really late. And it was for £294.79. There was 1p left over. There's a bit of me that thinks they had a hand in that. I like the magic that they had a hand in that. However, there is a massive learning curve to that. I've just got. I'm on the back end of 8 years of just surviving. Just surviving. Some days I wouldn't eat. And these last 2 years, I've really got myself stabilized and whatever. But um, I learned so much in that time. It was hard. It was incredibly hard, and I'd never ever want to go back there. Obviously, but I learned so much. So I think maybe you can learn something from it. I know that don't help when you're in there, and I really get it. I really understand. But it's not always going to be that way. I think there will always be light at the end of the tunnel for you. So I mean, I don't want to take away hope. Um, in that sense. So I shared a story where I believe there was a bit of magic. So hopefully that bit of magic helps. Me. Um, did you answer Stacey about the paper? Yeah, YouTube do take a. It's only a small percentage. I just wanted the transparency there. They take a percentage of it. I can't remember what the percentage is. So for every $10, I think they take $2.80 or something like that. Um, Whereas the PayPal, it's just direct to me. That's why I opened the PayPal for the YouTube. And then what I do is that money sometimes builds up, and when I need a new £4,500 camera, I put the funds from that to the camera on new mics or lights or stands or wires or whatever it is. If there's money in the PayPal, I go there first and then add to it. So yeah, I appreciate. I don't have my phone with me, so I appreciate the people that have donated. Class was great yesterday. Thank you. If you've had a lot of trauma in your life, would your comfort level be to connect with those types of relatable spirits first when you go to the spirit world? I wouldn't necessarily say first. Who asked that? Trace. I wouldn't say first. I would say you find it easier. Um, Controversial statement I'm about to say is that when our mind goes to the spirit world, it's our mind that goes to the spirit world. No one else is picking that. You are finding it. So because you've got a trauma in your background and it's part of your experience, and I find a lady and now her traumas are there, and I understand these traumas. I have this experience. It seems easier than something that you don't recognize. That's why those would appear to be first, but it's not because they're picked first. It's because freedom of your mind finds them first. So I'm this is the one. This is the one that will get me in trouble. I know the spirit world don't tell me which one to go with. I know they don't. So the argument will be from teachers from places around the world. Let the spirit world decide who's coming forward. Let the spirit world tell you, and that's fine. I understand that, but I have no real family relation. I've got a huge family, but I rarely see them. And we live in different worlds. We are different kinds of people from different parts of the world as well. So culturally, we're different. I've got one real close family member in the spirit world, and I've shared that story. It would be my sister in the spirit world. Now I know with the affection and love that I shared with my sister, she would be there. She would be the one that comes forward. Not one of my nans that I maybe saw 20 times in my lifetime. 20 times. I shared 18 years with my sister. I shared 20 times with my nan, and mediums find my nan easier than my sister. And that doesn't make sense to me. That made no sense. Why wouldn't my sister? And that's when I realized the medium in their reach finds the spirit people. And it is much safer for a medium to go, I have a grey haired old lady here who wears glasses. She's of average height and she's got shortish hair. Loves you a lot. She bakes cakes. She knits. Loves family. Rather than I've got an 18-year-old sister, and then the evidence that follows. So it's not they're not choosing. They're not choosing. Your mind reaches what it finds. And now wait for the emails. Yeah. So I hope that answers you, Tracy. Um, have you experienced physical mediumship? Yep, absolutely. I absolutely love it. I love it when it's real. I love it when it's real. I have experienced it, and it it can be mind-blowingly good, really, really good. Again, the downside is the fraudulence that goes with it, around it, surrounding it. So again, the best ones I believe are ones that don't know about, and they don't offer their services publicly. They're just developing their own way with their own people. Ooh. B Ria, thank you for answering my questions, Charlie. No problem. That's the point of the live feed. Does there have to be a purpose to developing mediumship? Some say you've chosen before birth. Can you choose the type, psychic or trance? There is a video. Have you done that? Have you posted that one? I can't remember what. Am I chosen? Am I chosen? There's a video on the subject. B Ria. In my opinion, and this opinion is sat on the fence across the community. So take it or leave it. It's just my opinion. It's of the mind, and I believe anyone can do it. I believe it's a birthright for anyone and everyone to do it. The facet that you go down will be what you choose to develop. Trance or mental mediumship would be up to you. There are other variants there. Psychic is not mediumship. Psychic is just me reading you. So that's not mediumship in that aspect. But it's entirely up to you. It would be your choice. So in my opinion, it's for everyone. Not handpicked. How do you feel about tarot and oracle cards? Can they help connect with the spirit? I think they're a good tool for people that are out there. I used to play around with them in the early stages because that's what you do in the early stages, don't you? You want to do it all. I want to do healing. I want to do trance. I want to do physical. I want to read the cards. I want to read ribbons. I want to read crystals. And you just want to cram all this in around your already busy life. So I know that they're a good tool. They're a good facilitator to lead on to just pure mediumship. However, I know loads of people that would much prefer to go for an oracle card reading, a tarot reading over a reading with Charlie, because it will talk about them rather than the spirit person. So it depends on what the client wants, and so there is an area for it. So I'm okay with it. They do their thing, I do my thing. There's enough room for everyone. So yeah, I've got no problem with it. A good tool, a good starting place. I think. Do you have any tips to see them better? See the spirits better. You mean? What I done. Again, it's very very simple. A process that I used. So 5. I reckon it's more like 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes away. I've got a little shop just down there where I can get my cigarettes and a Red Bull and bread and milk, that sort of stuff. It's about 3.5 minutes away. So when you walk that every day, every single day, you start to know the stuff that's nice and not so nice, and you start taking in the detail. So what I thought was, well, I know that journey so well, I'm going to walk it in my mind. So I'll walk it and I'll look at the grass and I'll listen to the birds and I'll see what type of day it is, and I'll feel the railings and I'll feel the fences and I'll feel the bush and I'll feel the tree and I'll feel the metal poles outside the shop, and I'll go in the shop and I'll pick up packets of chips or crisps wherever you are in the world, and I'll crunch them and I'll hear it in my mind, and I will look at all the detail, then I'll walk back, and that would take me maybe 20-30 minutes in my head, and that process just sharpened up the imagery when I moved to spirit communication. That sharpened it for me. So find something that you do very regular, like the back of your hand, and then walk that process through your mind. very, very simply. Alternatively, a absolutely shameful plug. I've developed a meditation CD that heightens senses like that. It's called The Corridor, and it is available for download on the website, or yeah, on the website. If you go there, I'm not sure what I'm charging for that or what's going on, but that focuses um, more so on the sentient part of you, the feeling and the visual, and that would help you. That can be downloaded to your phone, and you can pop in your buds or whatever it is that you use. Uh, Sit and do that. But I get it. That was a shameful plug, but it is available. Um, do you plan on doing any Zoom demonstrations? I've been asked a number of times. I'm starting to get a lot of invitations now from the centres around the UK where they want me to do an online demonstration. I've done a video why I don't do online demonstrations. It's not that I'm scared or I can't or anything like that. It's basically it's down to the way the content can be used. It's as simple as that. That's what it all boils down to. So if I do one that is an online demonstration, because I am being pressured into doing it, it would be via my Zoom. If I ever done it, it would be via my Zoom, which would be offered only to the Zoom group, because I know them. I know that they won't take anything out of context. They won't record. They won't, they won't do anything untoward. So it would go there. If I was to do one, it would be in that style. So it's just not for me. I mean, I honestly I could grab my phone. Really, I could grab my phone and I could turn on Facebook, and within the first 20 posts, I would maybe have 12 to 15 online demonstrations right now. And I don't want to go into that group. It's just, for me, it's just valuing mediumship every day that passes. I just don't, I don't want to be part of it. I like how sacred I've got it. Um, it's still magical to me, and it's not about getting the wow, Charlie. How did you do this? How did you that? It's really not about that for me. So it's highly unlikely, to be honest. But if I was to, it would be within my Zoom group. Jane, how can I rewire myself from being psychic to becoming more medium without sitting and meditation? So you would need to you would need to actively be using the spirit team in the way of working. So maybe you would, let's say, take a recipient as an exercise. You could take a recipient, someone that's going to take your information, and whenever you get information, ask a question on it. So they may say, I worked as a police officer. And then you say, how long for? And they'll say, 25 years. And so you're in communication. So that teaches you that I need to ask. I need to ask, is this the spirit world? And when you get an answer, it's intelligent, therefore the spirit world. A very simple exercise for you to do that. Honora, Charlie, I've been trying to make out what's on your t-shirt. Please show us. I'm guessing it's a shoe on a line. It is a shoe on a line. It is Nike Air. Nike. Can't see that. No. There, look. Nike Air. And then Nike Air Max. Yeah. And they might be Jordans, actually. Or Air Force Ones. But that's all I wear. Is Nike Air Max. They're just so comfortable. So bloody expensive as well now. So yeah, love them. So there you go. So trainers hanging after by their laces. Paper tipping is cool. I experienced it once with a bunch of other people. I had never heard of it. Yeah, it's really, really old school now. Really old school. They were doing it like late 1800s. So yeah, it can be cool. It can be very intelligent as well. Very, very intelligent. For no offense taken, good. We come here to get it right. We come to grow our souls. We learn something from each. Absolutely. We choose what we go through in our soul. Okay, so you've got the destiny aspect of it. So yes, with that philosophy, absolutely. So it wouldn't have any part in this life because it would be pre-contracted somewhere else. So yeah, I understand the philosophy. Medium Street TV. Whilst watching one of your videos about the time you put into your mediumship, hours versus years, you mentioned that the Arthur Findlay College wasn't for you and you went somewhere else. I did. You're absolutely right. Uh, you're absolutely right. That is exactly what I said. And I was doing my absolute best to avoid that, but I can't now because you brought it up. So yeah, it just wasn't for me. So someone mentioned earlier the way that it was kind of funny set up. Um, I agree in a way that I see the power a medium has. I see the power, and I just thought, do you know what? It's just not for me. I'm not gonna conform in that way, or I'm not gonna be like teacher's pet. So I'm not gonna get any look in here whatsoever. So I moved somewhere. So yes, Medium Street TV were correct. um, oh man, that proper jumped. God. Uh, yeah, Hawaiian Life. There's the only place on Zoom to make mistakes, and everyone is so kind as they are learning to. Absolutely, Darren Butcher. That looks like you changed your name. How did you change it? Old school ways. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, restricted, in my opinion, restricted. Uh, Mantha, do you think meditation and sitting in the power can allow you space to develop yourself and then can better understand spirit? Yes, to an extent. Again, I'd shamelessly plug my meditation. But yeah, that's what I talk about in there. We go through self on one side of the corridor and spirit on the other. So there are processes that we go through within that meditation that will give you more space or a cleaner space for you to work with in the spirit world, therefore making it better. So yes, Kelsey, personal development and mediumship development go hand in hand. Absolutely. I know some people that like they want to be a medium so bad. They really want it so bad, but they refuse to look at themselves. They'll just stagnate. They won't be able to go any further. And you try to help them. You try to like be kind and like. Have you thought about? Uh some people don't want to live. So yes, absolutely. Giraffe. I don't. Is that a joke? I don't know. Giraffe. uh, Clever. We all know it's hard to get messages for yourself. So how do we build when sitting alone? I struggle with that. And that will be the learning process there. What I did was I just set the time aside. I wrote it off. So I'm going to sit here for an hour, and if nothing happens, then nothing happens. End of story. I didn't put expectation or pressure on myself. Sitting in the power video will help if you watch that. But that's what I done. I just wouldn't put any pressure on yourself. If you get nothing from it, at least you got peace for whatever time frame that you gave yourself there. Um, Sorry, I need a drink. So I did a reading for a lady online, sat and wrote out a page worth of information and sent it off to her. Her reply was that she couldn't take any of it. How do you get around things like that? Well, that's where you need there's a video, the communication triangle, where I talk about, let me change the camera, where we talk about the points of the communication. So we've got the spirit here, spirit world there, we've got the client here, and we've got the medium here. So we need the harmony here between the spirit and the medium. And then you want the harmony between the spirit and the client, so it's their loved one. And then we need the harmony between the medium and the client. So what will happen is you will start this thread. So you've got that, you understand that, right? So 3 points. And what you've done is you've kind of eliminated 1 point. So it leaves it like that. And what happens is that you'll start off with your reading. And what you want is it for the bloody camera. What you want is it to go like, want it to go like that, and it may waver a little bit. It may waver, and so it'll be yep, no, yep, no. But you'll get through it. But the client is saying no, so then you go back and you have a look. Client says no, so you go back and you have a look, and you correct it. You don't have that ability when you're writing it out. So your imagination can then take off, and you can add too much detail in too much of an area. Let me give you an example, and I hope she don't mind. I won't say her name, actually, in case she does mind. But I had a young lady last night, and I sat in on one of her readings, and she said, I've got a gentleman here, and he shows me a gun. And I know I know that he loves hunting, he loves the outdoors, and he loves getting out and shooting things. And on the wall, he's got stuffed animals, all these stuffed animals, all around. And so I stopped her, and now I'm not working a link. I'm watching the energy, so I might need to explain that. So I said, "What made you say that?" And she went, "Well, I saw a gun," and I was like, "Well, we're working with the American people." And you know, guns are very, very different in America than they are to the UK. That's not new information. We all know that, you know. And I said, but what made you say hunting? And she went, well, I saw a gun, so I assumed he likes hunting. And so her mind went hunting, outdoors, stuffed animals. But he never showed it. He showed her a gun. That was it. So that's how the imagination can just run wild when the client doesn't give you the yes or no. So after every statement I give, I get verification from my client, my recipient, and that keeps my imagination from running wild. I hope that makes sense. And Darren. So Hawaiian life. Besides Zoom, where do you think is the best place or way to practice? I think your best development would be self-development. I've been quite open in saying that. Zoom is a good practice ground. I mean, Facebook has loads and loads and loads there. My only concern is when who's leading the class. So providing you understand why you're doing the exercise or the exercise that you're attempting and why you are doing it, then that's going to be the best form of practice. So you could practice with friends and that would be okay. But understand why you're practicing. What is it you're setting out to do or achieve from the practice, rather than just go, let's swap readings, because that's not really doing anything. That's just someone saying, "Oh, thank you, well done, you were well good." That's that you're not learning from that. Marie, why do you think some mediums say to clients they were meant to go? You have to sit up. I think I've read that wrong. Or they were not meant to be here on Earth long. I would think some people may find this comforting, but others thoughts. I have no idea why a medium would say that to a client that's lost someone young or lost someone they love dearly. They're not meant to be here. That again goes down to the mindset of a punishing God. Um, they're not meant to be here. You know, they weren't allowed long here. No, I would never say that, and I do not understand why anyone would say that. I have no words. I have no words. I don't know why someone would say that. No idea. I don't know of. I was going to say ethics, but clearly they have none. Or their integrity. That's not painting spirit in any kind of light, really, is it? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not. Don't really have any thoughts on it. I would never do it. I would never, ever, ever do it. No matter how comfortable or receiving the client was, I just would never say that. I would never say that. Just because that then words will resound in that person's head for years and so I will never ever say that, and I have no understanding why someone. Kim, I did not mean to embarrass you, Charlie. You are authentic, and the drawings do really help. Please forgive me. That's cool. I embarrassed myself, not you. You didn't embarrass me. I embarrassed myself. And that's the purpose of the drawings, because I know there are people there that it will absolutely help. So back, man. Martha, this happened and I don't understand why exactly. Most say I'm psychic, but I can't blend with the person, get info of their energy on command. No idea how to. One night I was very tired, felt a man who was heavy set, thought a mental picture and surprised, so asked, "Who are you?" Then I felt my heart hurt and it was so weird. I waited, then asked what happened. Saw a quick pic, vivid green grass and many people lined up in rows for days. I was like, WTF? It later reminded me of the cemetery, so that's where I'm watching it. I thought I'd lost my. No, it depends where your mind's at. There's so many variables there, Martha. I can't give you a straight answer. So there are a number of days involved, and it's how your mind is operating. So I can't give you a straight answer. But I think most, if not all of us, in this stream right now have all had that idea of, am I absolutely losing it? Am I crazy? Um, and so I would say you're not crazy. So relax. When I first, hold on, I need to go back. No, that's right. When I first started aura readings, I drew them for my clients, and they were terrible, but people loved them. Brought the energy to life. That's cool. That's cool. So you thought the drawings were terrible, and but your clients were saying they were wonderful. That's cool. I'm not sure I can take any part of that story though, because I say my drawings are terrible, and the people tell me that my drawings are terrible. So I'm not sure if they must be terrible. But that's cool. I love your story. I love that. Uh, Lawrence, work meeting. Wish I could stay. Oh, that's a shame, Lawrence. Um, yeah, that's unfortunate. Cool. Kim, please continue your drawings. It's steering. I'm going to continue. Um, Monica, what's coming towards me? What's coming towards me? Huh? Oh, okay. Uh, oh, okay. Um, where's no where's? Guess I'll be watching a lot of videos. um, oh, Samantha, that's very kind. So you've got CDs to be already done. Oh, makes a change. Carol getting something right today. She's been messing up all day. Don't swear. I think doing a demonstration for your Zoom people would be well received as helpful in learning and development. Speaking for a friend. Okay, Marie. Yeah, maybe I'll do it. Maybe. I remember someone in my Zoom class the other day asking about advice for their friend as well. I remember that. Um, that just reminds me of that. Speaking for a friend. Cool. Um, ah, it's there's got to be a way to stop that jumping. Jane, to communicate with living animals, is it the same as communicating between spirit? It's the same as your psychic work. Get ready. I'm going to attempt to draw a dog. So what it is like where's the camera? Like that. So that's the auric field, and the auric field, that light's a bit bright there, isn't it? So that would be maybe a human to human. That's the psychic, no spirit world involved, just the reading of this here. But if we replace that with that aura, if we just replace the aura with another aura, and that could be my dog. An animal. We'll say an animal. I can't even do that. You're just reading the aura. You're just reading the aura. And I may throw my board away now. That's terrible. Terrible. That's how to do it, Jane. Darren, sorry, no, it's cool. You spot your profile. I absolutely love your modern ways. I feel a lot of the older generations do hold a lot of people back. I argue with some of those people, you know, and they're passionate about their way. I'm passionate about mine, so we're both right and we're both wrong, and you know all that kind of stuff. I think just do it your way and do it in the form of evidence. Show them the evidence and let the mediumship do the talking. And once it's all said and done, and books and CDs and T-shirts and scarves and sage sticks and whatever, behind all of that, the ultimate thing that's going to decide it all is your mediumship. So just let that do the talking. The Odd Mob, I recognise that name. So good evening, thanks for joining. Good night, wonderful job, Charlie and Carol. Thank you very much. No problem, Kim. Marie, back to my original question about a communicator. Not meant to be here long. TV mediums say it. Seen it many times. Just seems open itself up to be taken different ways by different people. TV mediums. Well, I mean, again, I could get myself in trouble, but we've all watched those TV heavily edited videos. I mean, they're easy to edit, aren't they? I mean, I done one video where there's two of me in a video, two of me. So it's easy to cut out the nose and the pauses and the presentation. So I just don't agree with it. I just don't agree with that statement whatsoever. Not meant to be here for long. Maybe some people are, that may be taken okay. Like, oh well, that explains it. Thank you. So that would be the good aspects in it. But as I suggested earlier with the ethics video that I'm going to have to do, what if that was my first experience with a medium, and I'm kind of, there's this feeling of offended when I read not meant to be here long, and I'm experienced in mediumship, I'm experienced in it, and it gives me that feeling. That's the damage. Now what if that was the first reading I ever had, or my first encounter with mediums and mediumship? Definitely wouldn't be back. So just not for me, just not for me. I'm sorry. It's just not for me. It's absolute. I just don't agree with it whatsoever. TV or not. Teresa, I think you missed my question, Charlie. You've gone past it. Now it must have jumped up a lot, maybe. Oh, I am so sorry, Teresa. I I don't know where that would be. Can we get you to do it again? We get you to okay, so you just right, mate. Carol's just checked. She can't see a question up there, so try it again at the bottom, and I'll cover it, Teresa. I try not to avoid questions. Really, I'll answer even the most awkward ones. So yeah, it wasn't deliberate. My apologies. Jane, Charlie, how can I get my communication to flow? It's so bitty. Is there a video you've done on it? Pauses. I don't know. I don't know. But the simple answer, Jane, is it's always the art of expression. The way I express myself now, 10 years ago, I wasn't this man. I wasn't the person. I didn't have the idea or the ability to be able to speak my mind in the way that I can speak my mind and express it in a way that hopefully people understand. That's taken me a decade to get that right, and that's taken me a decade to look at myself and just own the feeling. Why do I do that? Why am I feeling like that? I'm going to say something, and here we go. That brought this ebbing and flowing to my mediumship, because I'm expressing. If you're someone that's very paused, like I can't get this up and running, then that must be happening in your everyday life somewhere, that you're not good with an area of your life, and you clam up, or you can't speak your mind freely. And these things will absolutely just come into mediumship, because it's who you are, it's what you're about. So what I say to the more advanced students is, why I'm saying a statement, I'm already preparing my second one. So as I'm saying it, I'm preparing my next one. So once that one finishes, this one just arrives. Now I go get another one, and so I just get this harmony to my reading. It's a multitask. But I honestly, there is a video called The Art of Expression, and I think it is an art form, learning how to speak continuously and dialed in to get it right. So I would maybe watch that video, The Art of Expression. I think I called it that. Love the drawing. Thank you. The Odd Mob. Hi, Charlie. Have you got any other tips on how I can start up a full conversation with spirit? I'm still struggling with it and just getting bits. But have you got much better with reusing tips? So, the Odd Mob. What I suggest you do is get someone, get 2 or 3 people, and I run this exercise last night or the night before, where I said to the students, here's 90 seconds, here's 2 minutes, and with a real life person. So let's say I've got Carol on camera, and I'm going to extract 2 minutes of information from Carol, and then present that information. And what you'll find is that is nothing like what you want to do for mediumship. You'll ask stupid questions. You'll ask silly questions that just will hold no bearing. And so what you're learning is this extraction of information through communication. So you realize that there are much better questions to ask. So someone said to me the other day, so would you still be doing your job if you wasn't a medium? And I just went, no. End of conversation. Just ended it immediately. And so that's not the right question to ask. The best question to ask is, if I turned around to Carol and I said, imagine you're a spirit and your brother's in the room and he wants a communication, what should I say to him? Then she can tell me all the things that I don't know that I can say to him. And that'll be memories from kids, growing up, getting older. And I ask one question: what's your story? What do I need to say? And that way, it highlights with a real life person how terrible we are at extracting that information. So with a little bit of practice, 2 or 3 people, you'll dial your questioning in very quickly to get more specific information, which will help dial in where you're where you're asking. So it's at 21:36. There's no? Yeah, I haven't got a timestamp, Teresa, on mine. Yeah, just can you copy and paste it just at the bottom, and I'll pick it up. Can see that last one you've done. Can you see it now? Um, but can't see it. So however you put that, can you see it now? Do your question in that way again, and hopefully we catch it for you. Honora, what's the best college, Charlie? Damn you. Um, um, it's completely down to the individual. Completely. So when I was doing mine, I wanted to be pulled apart. I mean, really pulled apart and tested to my limit. So that I wasn't getting that where I originally went to my first college. I found out through my tutors at that time of Tim and Sheila under Urshamstar. Um, and so it served its purpose. Now, I done 2 courses at the Arthur Finley. One I just didn't like. I didn't like the way it was set up and um, the click that was involved with that. I just didn't like it. But the grounds were amazing. It definitely allowed a space for you to enter that felt really good, really amazing. So I went for a second one, and the second one was with Tim, who I just said there, because he was running the course there, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the course. I loved the way he set it up. I loved his teaching. I loved his demonstrating. But it was just Tim. It wasn't. It was the tutor, not the premises. So I found Tim somewhere else. So it was the tutor that I went for, not the place. That makes sense. So if you signed up, I don't know who your course tutors are, but if they are someone you respect and someone that you know that you can learn from, or they'll be good for that springboard for you, then absolutely do it. It's one of those. Um, just it'll be right for some and not for others. Um, so yeah, I'd follow your instinct. Um, Jane says so. Basically, removing a person in front of you and replacing it with an animal, and doubt a psychic reading to them. Exactly, that's all it is. It's just energy, energy. It's just aura to aura. So just replace a person with an animal. Yeah, yeah. Um, you'll know if you're getting it right. You'll get there if you're getting it right. Yeah, and doing a psychic reading to them. Yeah, that's it. Tabitha, that's where I feel soul contracts come in. We sign up. So, yeah, absolutely. We even sign up to take care of those. Yep, absolutely. I'm in agreement with you there, Tabitha, where there is a design of life. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a philosophy I'm comfortable. Um, Sometimes just before I fall asleep, I see images of people I don't know, like a film. I've always wondered if that's the spirit world. What do you think? Um, I don't think I know. I know on this one. So yeah, it was bad. It was a bad. Change the camera. So this is the it's a good looking chap, that guy, isn't he? So this is your everyday mindset. So it's at 27 to 35 hertz. And anything lower than that is deemed an altered state. So anywhere around there, that light is doing my bloody edit. Is an altered state. That would be an altered state. So as we go down to here, we fall asleep. So as we go down through here, this is mediumship. This is trance work would be around here, in this zone here, and sleep. What we usually do is go here and boom, very quickly. So as you're going down and you're thinking about the spirit people and the spirit world, I wonder if, and then you get to here, you're going to start seeing. And that's en route to sleep. So, yes, you are seeing imagery. They could be showing you imagery. Logic and judgment are silenced as you're going down. That's where you're going to the dream state. That's why it's much, much easier to penetrate your mind in that zone than it is at 27, because logic and judgment are very much in play. The Odd Mob, you're absolutely welcome, no problem. Be Ria, and thank you for doing this. Love the drawings. I'm an artist and draw just like you. Um, won't let a copy and paste. Each time I type it and post it, it disappears. I have no idea. How weird is that? Are you swearing in it? Are you swearing in it, Teresa? Is there a swear word or something that can be colourful, where the filters are picking up a word maybe, and just stealing your question? Because that can happen, because YouTube's running on minimum staff. That the filters are set, so it can do that. It may be that. If not, just message the page or something. And Carol will say it to me, and then I'll read it out for you. Send it on Facebook, yeah. Yeah. Tabitha, by the way, I love your Rubik Cube explanation of past lives. Hope you don't mind if I use it. It's yours, have it. Absolutely fine. The Odd Mob, sorry, another question. Don't be sorry, that's why I'm here. When do you know when you're good enough to do mediumship professionally? When you're accurate. When people say, wow, I love that. Let me book you. Can my friends come and see you? I've got 10 friends that want a reading. I've got a centre that would like you to demonstrate. At that point, you can start shifting your mind into doing it on a more professional basis, and then let the story take you there. Let the wave ride the wave. Don't push it. In my opinion, don't push it. You can push it, and you will absolutely get there, but I recommend that you don't. And just ride the wave as it comes. So if you get busier doing readings, then keep doing them, and slowly seeds will get out there with your name upon them. He has no idea. No idea. I have no idea. Apologies. I don't know what else to do. So yeah, we can save it for the next one. That's a great idea. And I finally made the bottom. So this is your last chance. Oh, what's that? Oh, look, this message was held for review. It's just popped up. Is it? Oh, okay. Let me show it. It literally just popped up though, didn't it? The Odd Mob. I'm at the stage, but I'm absolutely shitting myself to make that move. But yes, I agree not to push and just let it come naturally. Absolutely. So I had to authorize that one. So that's strange. And it was a long question. That might be it. It's restricted to 200 characters. Sandra, thank you for the session. See at next Zoom. But, oh yeah, Sandra, that's you. Okay, just recognise the name now. So thanks for joining me. Tabitha, so glad I caught the live. Your energy is amazing. I can tell your back is really bothering you though. Hope you get some rest after. I think it's this chair, you know. I think my next live feed, I'm just gonna do where I do my Zoom, because I sit there all day. But this just ain't comfortable enough. It looks comfortable. It probably is if I was slouching, but I've got to lean forward and whatever. I'll be all right. I'll have my cigarette and I'll crack a bud, and I'll just chill out. So cool, thank you. Since I've been doing mediumship, every so often I get a few weeks where I go 2 to 3 weeks with spirit work. It just stops. Have I read that right? Where I go 2 or 3 weeks and it just stops. Yeah. So that's your mindset. It's omnipresent. It'll always be there. So it's got to be something in your mind that triggers that emotion or that sensory experience. So when you feel that happen, just tell yourself it ain't happening, and now you'll override the process. Yeah, it's just it can't do that. So in fact, the next time that happens, contact me and we'll go through it together. That's the easier way. Marie, you said in one of your classes, in terms of clients, paraphrasing, some clients will believe anything and some will believe nothing. Can you please elaborate on this term of deciding go work? Can you please elaborate on this in terms of deciding to go work? But that's it's worded wrong and it's confused me. You've confused me, Marie. So no matter what we do when we're working with the spirit world and with clients, there are some people. There are some people that if I sat down and I was one of those people and someone said, I'm aware of a young lady. No matter what they do after that, I know they've got my young lady, my sister, and they're happy. And they'll say yes when it's no. They'll just let it go. There'll be other people where you can give me her name, her birth date, her passing date, her street address, her telephone number, and the client will still go, I was expecting more. What do you mean? Sorry, going professional. Said in one of your classes in terms of clients, some clients will believe anything and some will believe nothing. Can you please elaborate on the terms of going professional? Well, you're just gonna have to. Well, you've got no choice. You've got to go through those. You've got to go through those people. There's can't let it wobble you. You can't let it be a problem. You can't beat yourself up because you got to know. You've got to learn to live and deal with that when you're in the professional term. Yeah, I don't really know how to. Don't know how else to elaborate that, Marie. I think I'm reading the question wrong, or you're deliberately trying to confuse. I don't know. Don't know which one it is. I'm not. I'm not trying to go anywhere. No question. Just a huge thank you and for taking so much time with us. No problem at all. Have a great night. Can't wait for the next live. I'll get it organised soon, and you'll see the link, and you can sit in the waiting area for it to be notified or something like that. I'll get that link up in a few days. Do you do one-off classes? I don't live anywhere near you, but my partner's family do. He's in Hoddesdon. Oh, okay. So I was thinking of coming to a class if you're doing one when I'm next down. You'd have to once the lockdown's done, obviously. But yes, I do workshops, one-off classes. So absolutely, you just got to contact the page or the website, and we can hook you up to the nearest one around that time for you. So yes, Odd Mob, no problem at all. Marie, in other words, if you go professional and only working with mediums before the public, mediums already believe. Absolutely. And this is the problem with practice. You are practicing with people that believe. And this is why practice has no value. You need strangers, you need general public for real time experience. Same with people that demonstrate to an audience that understand. When you demonstrate to an audience that's not in a spiritual community, spiritual church, spiritual context, it's just a ticket event open to the general public, you are not ready. And that presents so many real-time problems. And the only way to do it is to do it. It's the only way. It's the only way that you can get that experience. So you want, what I do with my students is I ask my students to bring a friend that's neither for or against the idea of spirit. And then I get them to bring them to an in-house demonstration. So if I've got 10 students and they bring 2 each, there's 30 people in the room, 10 of which are believers, 20 on the fence. And that will present a real-time scenario for you. But absolutely, the point is, you've made the point. You've hit the point right on the head there. While you're practicing with people that believe, you are not practicing. You're just stroking egos. Thanks. And yet it's not helping whatsoever. Great point. Teresa, I've done a calling card video literally a few days ago. Calling cards on my head and right side of my face, hard to connect further. It's not hard to connect further. It's hard because you're looking for something different. And if I know the spirit world are there, I absolutely know the spirit world are there. And if you can have that idea in your head where you know they're absolutely there, then it will work for you. So in your head, I don't need you to answer me, but in your head, one of my spirit people will come and help you. So your intention is Charlie, and so Charlie's people will now be in your head. You will be aware of a man or a woman. You don't know this man or a woman, but you know you're aware of a man or a woman. You're aware of their age, and so now you're further. You're already further, but you're expecting something like magical or that wow moment, and it's not that wow moment. It's not gonna be that wow moment. That's why it's put on a pedestal. That's why I don't agree with the teaching, because you're sitting there like, well, I'm waiting for it, and you'll wait forever. It's already happening. Hawaiian Live, thank you kindly for all you do. I appreciate it. I appreciate you joining me. Stacey, thank you for all your efforts. Carol, Hawaiian Live, thanks kindly. Really appreciate it. I've just read that. Cool, thanks, no problem. To the odd mob. Would like your advice on moving it forward from psychic to spirit. And I answered that to Jane earlier. Just ask the question. So what I do is I connect to the person. If this is the person, I need to change the camera so I can see it. If I've got a person here, and I've got a client, I'll use my hat, and I've got a client here, I don't want my attention here. I want my attention here. So what I do is I move my mind here, and I'm aware of a man, and now I have a man. And now I move my mind back to the man. So I draw that all back up in my mind, and now I relay it back here. So I constantly ask these questions and just relay here. This will keep me out of the psychic mechanic, because I'm moving my mind to the communicator all of the time. Darren, thank you so much for this live and the videos you upload. They have provided so many answers that I needed. No problem at all. That's why they're there. 100% agree with him there. When I moved from the reading, other trained psychic mediums to the general public, it was completely different. Absolutely. And I get frustrated when I see it in the groups and the practice groups, and they're like, yeah, I practice 4 times a week. No, you don't. No, you don't. So let me give you one client. I'll give you one client, and you tell me how you get on with that. And it can destroy some people. So yes, you're right. I love the calling card video. No problem. In circle, you only learn. Practice with people that believe. So would you ever progress? Nope. Not in my opinion. I don't think you progress. That's why you've got to move. Huh? Yeah. So you have to move out from that circle, and move the boundaries because you've got comfortable. But that again, that's the way that I would deal with that. That's my opinion. Hey Charlie, didn't know you was on. Thanks for joining us, MW. W. Got it. Cool. No problem. Cool. Right. Any Zoom inquiries, see Carol. Any meditations that you want, see the website and Facebook, and they'll be sent to you. Keep an eye out on here for the next live. I'll post a link. Other than that, I think I will see some of you during the week, or on the Zoom classes, or on the videos. Either way, stay safe. I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to go and smoke now. Thank you all for joining me. Like it when it goes up on replay. Share it if you can. Or you know, whatever. Watch it. I don't know. It just helps the channel. So thank you everyone that supported me through the super chat and through your PayPals. It will go straight back into the channel. It is very much appreciated. So thank you for spending your evening with me, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.